And there we go. Okay, so thank you so much for coming along to Impact Before Income. Now, straight away, that title immediately helps me to sort the wheat from the chaff, so to speak, because a lot of people would not be interested in coming along to a workshop of this very nature because they're looking for the how to make 10K months type content. And as you know me, you know that that's not what I'm like. That's not what I'm about. And so obviously that's not what you're about either. So we're all in the same room together, which is awesome. So if you don't know me, I appreciate lots of people on here do know me, but for anybody that doesn't, and for anyone catching the replay, I'm Lou. I help rebel coaches to stand out in your niche and attract your best friend forever, your BFF clients, by being unapologetically you in your messaging. And a big part of that, and a big part of expressing yourself freely without holding back on what you really want to say, is being able to articulate the value of what it is that you're offering. So you're attracting those perfect fit clients into your world. And the reason that I say rebel coaches is because we're rebelling against the shallow bullshit and the unethical tactics and the push energy of the hustle and the grind. So we're rebellious by our very nature of just wanting to do things authentically and in alignment with like who we are at our very core. So that aside, today is specifically about leading with your desire to create impact and create the ripples and the waves of impact versus your desire to create income. In terms of your messaging, right? So it's very specifically about your messaging. When I say I will use maybe content and messaging interchangeably, but when I'm talking about messaging, this doesn't just apply to your social media content. This could be, you know, obviously any content that you have where you are connecting with people that you want to work with, your BFF, perfect fit, dream boat, soulmate clients, right? Emails, your web copy, you know, landing page, whatever it may be, and how you communicate verbally with people, how you can articulate yourself with people. Because if you start to attract more soulmate BFF clients, then you get to work with more soulmate BFF clients. And then the more people you work with that are the perfect fit for you, the more impact you're going to create, the more ripples you're going to create, the more fucking massive waves you're going to create. So I want you to imagine if you were only calling in those who you know you can absolutely serve at your highest capacity. Those people who have empowered themselves to create these big shifts with your guidance, right? So they need you, but they're already there, willing and capable and able, and they want to take that aligned action. This is what we want. We want ready to rock clients, right? And these are going to be the people that like you, they're ready to co-create the results with you. They're ready for your flavor of awesome is what I've written in my notes. And yeah, as I say, they're action takers, and they're absolutely and easily, they will say hell fucking yes to your offers because they understand the value of what it is that they're undertaking with you because you've been able to articulate it on that deeper level, right? And then when that happens, you're attracting these people, you're working with these awesome people. Your income naturally becomes a byproduct of the impact that you're having. So this is what I mean when I say impact before income. So we're thinking all the while thinking in terms of what impacts do I want to create? Like, who can I best serve? How can I call in these people that are going to be amazing? Because the desire is to create this impact. And then the income, because obviously they're going to pay to work with you. The income is a byproduct of that impact, right? Sounds amazing. Give me a fuck yeah in the chat box if you're already like, yes, this is exactly what I need. Right? Fucking hell yeah, says Jacqueline. Loving that. Oh, I've got somebody else coming in. Sam. Right. So, hey Sam, and Shannon saying, fuck yes, it's me. Heidi's fuck yes. Sam, thanks for joining us. I'm just getting everyone to say fuck yes. So obviously you've missed a bit, but you can say fuck yes too if you want to. So there's a reason that I personally only attract perfect fit clients. And we'll go into that in a bit. But it wasn't very long ago that I wasn't at all. And I was attracting people who were like just desperate to make money, really. They were desperate to get a client, or, you know, they had this sense of entitlement that they're assuming because I'm doing XYZ, it's XYZ, I'm ticking this box, ticking this box, ticking this box, that means that I'm entitled to clients, when it doesn't, right? No one's entitled to anything. Okay, so but it's this desperate energy, and I was attracting these people in, and it took me a little while to fathom what was going on, because, you know, they're assuming that all of their worldly woes are going to be suddenly fixed. That, you know, they're looking for the magic pill, as I always say, and I don't provide magic pills, right? I'm not in that business. But I was attracting these people because my messaging was all around converting clients through your content. So straight away you think, oh, converting clients. So I'm talking about sales. So straight away people are going to make that assumption, okay? And I really didn't spot that at first. I was just sort of, what I was doing was trying to tell people what I thought they wanted to hear. Right, that's the God's honest truth. And you know that I'm really transparent about this stuff. And converting clients is absolutely something that comes as a result of nailing your messaging, right? But that's not the desire that I want to focus on, because, as I say, those that messaging attracts are the ones who are literally just looking to convert clients at all costs. And there's nothing magical about that, is there? About, you know, the magic is in attracting the right people who you can truly help, connecting with those awesome humans that will get the results that you know you can offer them, because they're a perfect fit for you in terms of where they're at, what they need, and their willingness to take that aligned action. So I had to change up my messaging, because I was talking in terms of sales. And as I say, I definitely like that. It comes as a result of, but you just think, do we want to have to be going through like sales processes, or do we want to create authentic messaging that resonates so freaking deeply with our perfect fit clients and articulate our offers in a way that activates them? You know, it's activating. It's not just, doesn't just resonate and they go, oh yeah, I connect with this. It activates them and motivates them to take the next step, and take action with you, right? With you. So what happens is, they just know that you're the one that they want to work with, and then they hit the, you know, book a call, the buy now button, or they're straight in your DMs just like, how do I work with you? Right. So I'm assuming it's that latter for everybody that's here. I'm assuming that's what it is that you want to do. You want to be connecting with these absolutely soulmate clients, right? I do want to touch upon something though. There is no shame whatsoever in wanting to make money, right? So this is not impact versus income in terms of you shouldn't want this, it's gross and ugly, because I don't believe that to be true at all. So wanting to be well paid for what it is that you do and the awesome shit that you put out into the world, absolutely fair enough. And my motto, yeah, Jacqueline, you're right, it's not either or, it's both. And my motto, courtesy of Denise Duffield Thomas, if you've not seen her around, I'd recommend that you buy one of her books or watch a masterclass or something. She says a thing, and it's I serve and I deserve. And I've taken that as a motto for myself, because it's so important to know that we are deserving, right? Not entitled, but deserving. So this isn't going to be about abandoning your desire for money, because money's just energy and it's exchanged for other energy. And I believe money to be a magnifier as well. So if you're already like a really super awesome, generous human being, the more money that you make, the more super awesome and generous you're going to be. So it does good in the world. It's not a bad thing. So we have to, I mean, that's money mindset, but that's for another day. That's not what we're talking about today. So I take no issue with anybody wanting to make awesome money by being your awesome self, helping awesome people that need you. Okay. So now we've got that out of the way. I'm going to dive into some energetics here, because it's a concept that you may or may not be familiar with, or you might on some level, but it's what I live and breathe, okay? And I'm going to be asking you to kind of ponder on some questions. Those of you who have joined my aligned as fuck messaging shindig on our call on Tuesday, we've already touched upon this ourselves. So I'm going to go back through a little bit of that. So what I want you to do, like, you can jot these questions down, and you can journal on them afterwards. I might ask you, I think later on, yeah, I will ask you to share something in the chat box as well. But later on, what I'll do is I will copy and paste the questions into the chat box so you can copy and paste them into a document so you've got them for later. So don't worry too much about the pen and paper. So when you, albeit unconsciously, lead with that buy my shit energy, it's off-putting. It turns people off, right? It is like, even unconsciously, you're not going out there saying, oh, please help buy my shit, but you are energetically, that's what you're saying, and that's what's landing with people. So what we have to do, we have to connect back to the impact that we want to create and then craft our messaging around that, as opposed to please buy my shit, please buy my shit. So because energetically, if you're in that like lack energy, and that desperation, you know, that this has to work, I have to make some money or else I'm screwed kind of energy, it transcends into your content. And whether you like it or not, again, unconsciously, it can be felt by those on the receiving end of it. And whether you, I always use this as an example as well. When you're grasping outwards and you're trying to clutch, what you're doing is you're creating like a repellent. So the flow, if you do that, the flow goes outwards and you're pushing away. Every time you try and grasp and clutch and grab, you're pushing and pushing and pushing things away. You're repelling what, you know, it's a push energy, not like a magnetic receiving energy, right? Like that gravitational energy. That's what we want, not the chasing energy. So we have to address this because you can't force it. You cannot fake it. You can work wonders with your messaging and like make it appear to be coming from this place. And so consciously it might resonate with people, yeah, but we're not doing that. We're speaking to their unconscious. We want things to connect with people on an unconscious level so that they go, fuck, you know. So consciously, we don't make decisions with our conscious mind, you know, more often than not. It's our actions are generated by our unconscious, yeah. And this is where we operate from. So this is why we need to speak to people on their unconscious level. And this is where we activate people. This is where they become activated. And it's what moves us to act as well. So we have to make sure we're communicating this part with our dreamboat clients, right? So I appreciate this is really, really hard for some people. And I've had clients historically who find this very, very difficult to do, because it's hard to operate in this like impact-led energy realm when actually consciously, of course, you want to make money, you want to make your business successful, you want to get clients, you want to do all these wonderful things and have the 3D world success, right? So absolutely, I appreciate, I'm not saying this is easy by any means, right? But obviously we're going to get into that. So I've got an example here of something that I did. So I'd had some success relatively recently, and I was like, fuck, I've smashed it, I've nailed it, I've figured it all out, oh my god. And then that's how I felt consciously. So but instead of expanding into that trust and that receiving energy and continuing in the energy that I'd already been putting out there, I started to shit myself and panic. I was just like, fuck, I need to cling to this at all costs. So what I started to do, I started to plug away at things and push more and you know, churn out stuff. And what it did is it started to deter people. So I kind of self-sabotaged, you know, because I wasn't in the trust energy. I was creating from that lack energy. The assumption was unconsciously that, oh my God, I've got this thing, now I must keep hold of it and grasp onto it at all costs. And in doing so, it actually ended up having the opposite effect. So if this makes sense, please say yes in the chat box, because this is deep stuff we're talking about, and I don't want to garble on if people are struggling to keep up. So yeah, Heidi says yes, been there. Yeah, Shan says yeah, Jacqueline, yeah. Sorry, I've got a bit of a nose today. I had something spicy earlier, and it's like Sam says yep. Cool. Okay, so this is where it requires some introspection, some reflection, and some of that lovely shadow work, because we need to get back in touch with what actually drives us and motivates us. And you might think like, and a lot of you, you'd be forgiven for thinking this, a lot of us think that what drives us and motivates us is our future desires, the outcome, what we want to achieve, what we're aspiring to. But actually, a huge part of what activates and motivates you to continue what you're doing is the original spark of what made you want to do this in the first place. So when you get back in touch with that element, which is unconscious at the moment potentially, and you bring that into your conscious awareness, you can then start to get intentional with it, and you can start to leverage what you're uncovering and what you uncover, so that you can imbue your messaging with these elements, right? And so you start to speak truly from your heart and soul to the heart and soul of these absolute perfect fit clients. The resonance is, you know, it's like, it's under the surface, it's there, and it's undeniable. And then they unconsciously and consciously resonate, right? That is potent as fuck. If you can bring these things together, my fucking God, that is when the world of possibilities open up. That is when shit shifts in the right direction. Because not only are they saying yes up here, they're saying yes in here. They're going, oh yeah. And they might not even know consciously. Like if I asked any of you guys who have worked with me on this call, if I said to you, why is it that you're working with me? Why is it, or historically have worked with me before? I know from asking this question with people, some people just can't put their finger on it. And I'm like, wow, that's good. That means I've spoken to your unconscious. If you can't consciously put your finger on what it is, then I'm doing something right, you know, because I've spoken to you on an unconscious level, and something in you just said, fucking yeah. So it didn't have to go through your conscious awareness. You didn't have to route it through any analytical, logistical method at all. You just knew, right? So that's what we're trying to get at here. So here's the questions. I'm going to rattle them off a little bit. I want you to have a little think about them. And as I say, I will paste them in the chat box a bit later on for you so that you can copy them over. So what we need to do is to establish or re-establish, if you feel disconnected from this, why the fuck you're doing what you're doing. There's the question. Why the fuck are you doing this? Why do you want this? You know, why do you want this business, that what you're doing now, what you help your clients with? Why do you need this specifically to work for you? Why does it matter to you so much? You know, where's the meaning for you? And what, other than the money, what's the driving force, you know, behind this desire to do what it is that you're doing? And I'll go back to this again. You might be tempted to go on again up on the surface layer and say, like, because I want to help people. Okay, why? And I'm going to do something that annoys everybody here so that they can. And then you figure out, okay, so that they can. That's a game we play if you're a client of mine. Most people hate it. But we're not thinking about that today. We're thinking about what's in it for you. What is it that matters to you? Not your clients, right? You. What gets you out of bed every morning? Heidi said, fuck you with the so that they can. She hates this with a passion. Why does it matter so much that you help people on this journey from your own perspective? What in your life has led you to wanting to live this business? What's upset you, pissed you off, traumatized you, that made you say, fuck it, I absolutely have to help other people with this thing? And, you know, what happened for you to start to take action on this and develop this business? You know, what was the defining moment, that definitive moment in your life when you went, this is what I'm meant to be doing? You know, what desire was triggered in you in that moment, and why? You know, what took you there? So these are big fucking questions. I do not expect anybody to just go, oh yeah, I know the answers, right? These are just questions. We're allowed to question ourselves without reaching answers as well. Okay, but to dig into that, I think, is really, really important. So I have got in my notes here that I want you to tell me now in the chat box, why does doing what you do matter so fucking much to you that you'll never quit on it? Big question. Just go, first thing that comes into your head, whack it in the chat box. Because it's fascinating to see what people come up with. And you know there's more layers to it. Even if you nail it on your first attempt, you know that the more work you do, the more shadow work you do, the more is going to get uncovered, right? So Heidi's saying it saved me. I found myself in the work. So now you know that it matters to you. It saved you. You found yourself. Why does that matter to you? Why does it matter that you found yourself? Why does it matter that you are now going to help other people with that? So Viola's saying, my driving force is to empower people and provide them with tools I didn't have to get out of struggle and create a life of ease that they're excited to get out. So here, okay, so Viola, so here you are talking about them as much as you're saying the bit in there, that's the only bit of you in there, is provide them with the tools that I didn't have. You want to provide people with something that wasn't available for you when you needed it. That's why it matters to you, because you know how much it's helped you in your life. It's transformed your world. If only somebody else was able to provide that for you when you most needed it. And that's why it matters, because you don't want other people to have to go through what you went through. You want them to fit, you know? So it's like really digging those things out of yourself. Jacqueline, I'm fulfilling something that's been part of who I am since I was a kid. I just never knew why it mattered. Yeah. And I know, Jacqueline, obviously you've gone through things and you're going through this process of uncovering why this matters to you so much. Shan, because I've been sent on an awakening journey that all signs have been pointing me to this. Yeah, that's it. And it's like some of it is not, you know, inner conscious awareness at this moment. It's like you become consciously aware of these signs and you're like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, retrospect, right? Hindsight, 2020 vision. Sam, my son's autistic and I have to do something to make this world more inclusive for him, right? So again, that's it. It's why it fucking matters. It's I love it. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. You're all awesome. So getting to into the heart of this matter, this isn't just about what outcome you want for your business, right? Which is always going to be freedom and of time and headspace and financial independence and all of those things. It goes way beyond that outcome of simply helping people through their transformation. It's getting really, really specific of what drives you onwards with this business. So all of you there have like touched upon it, but there's still more. Aha, there's always more. Because as I said before, we have to bring this subconscious or unconscious stuff into our conscious awareness because we're governed by our subconscious, right? It's literally what drives us to behave how we do most of the time. Like I don't even know what the stats are. I'm not a maths person, but it is, you know, it's a large percentage. You know, we're governed and guided by our subconscious. It's what, you know, drives us to take action. So that's why we have to bring this into our conscious awareness so that we can then take aligned action. You know, I'm not saying we then get to control it, but we can take charge. You know, we can actually intentionally and consciously, with our eyes open and switched on and tuned in, we can then take this aligned action. So I personally don't rely upon, you know, the outcome. Like, what do I want at the end of it? What inspires me? What aspirations do I have? Absolutely. Yeah, I connect back to those every single day. But that's not what gets me out of bed. So what, you know, what really gets you out of bed is when you had that moment, that definitive moment, you made the decision, because you're still in that now. You just potentially, you've kind of like put it on the back burner. But you're still going, you know, you're still motivated every day to do what it is that you do and bring this vision to light. So it's all about what fucking sparks it in the beginning. So there's always layers beneath the layers, as I say. And as I continue to do this and I work alongside you, you know, like in the 12-week shindig, we explore this stuff together because we're going deeper and deeper and deeper into the core. And obviously we do that by being open, honest, transparent, vulnerable, and having these really insightful and in-depth conversations where we pull these, you know, we start to shed and unpeel these layers. And not just with each other, but, you know, with ourselves. And yeah, shadow work city. Yeah. And then what I help you to do is to infuse all of this juicy shit into your content and into your messaging. Because here's the thing, most coaching programs will tell you, here's how to uncover all of this stuff. And then they don't tell you what to do with the information once you have it. You're like, oh, great. I know this thing about myself. Now, what do I do with this information? How do I apply it? How is it relevant? How is it applicable to how I then move forward in my business, right? Because what we do, we feed this stuff into your content, because it makes your messaging potent as fuck, as I said before, because we're speaking from our souls to the souls of those who we know we're meant for and who are meant for us. So as a result of that, I'm drinking out of a chalice today, by the way. As a result of that, you end up creating messaging that gets you super in-depth comments, right? So this is something I hadn't really thought about until I had a conversation a couple of days ago with Shannon and Tara about this. We create messaging, it gets you in-depth comments, right? So the comments that you start to receive on your social media posts actually are open dialogue. They're not, yeah, this rocks, you know, which is great. I'm not knocking that, but they're actually people having a conversation with you. You're opening up a dialogue, rather than just like, yeah, emojis and generic love this comments, right? You start to get people DMing you constantly, wanting to talk about your offers and stuff, because it's sparking that, holy shit, she's the one, she gets it. It's sparking that in them. And so they're all up in your DMs straight away. And you get people saying fuck yes instead of fuck off when you offer them something directly. So everybody that I DM and say, oh, I've got a free masterclass, or oh, I've got this offer on, or oh, I'm doing a flash sale, everybody says, oh, thanks so much for making me aware. No one says, oh, fuck off, I don't want your shitty offer, Lou. Right? Because it's that fucking energy, because the impact is there. Not everyone that knows me, you know 100% that I give a shit about what happens, right? So these are the results that you end up getting when you start to tune in beautifully and infuse and imbue your messaging with this impact first, impact led, I've lost my words, impact led energy, right? And then obviously you get way more people hitting that book now button for a call, or that buy now button on your no-brainer offers. So I'm going to tell you a bit about my story and the work that I've done around this, unearthing my driving force, and how it's had like, oh, you're welcome, Heidi. How it's had an incredible effect on just who I'm now calling in to my orbit. Now, I wrote this, you know, if you know me, you know that I always deliver things. I write my masterclasses or workshops or whatever on the day, because it's better for me to be in that present energy. And what, you know, I just know, I trust myself enough to know that what comes out in the moment is the right thing that people need to receive. So when I was writing this earlier on, I was crying because I've unearthed something even more in myself. And again, I'm just very quick tangent here. When we start to delve into this stuff, when you start to delve into your messaging, you start to unearth things in yourself and have these like epiphanies with yourself. And it's incredibly, well, it's healing. Not to jump on Shannon's idea about, you know, this healing journey here, but I can absolutely vouch for the fact that this has been a massively healing process for me, and it deepens your understanding of yourself. And the more you deepen your understanding of yourself, the more you start to create this self-acceptance and this self-love, that, you know, the self-awareness is there, and the self-consciousness just dissipates. But if I get tearful, I'm not going to apologize for it, but I'm just a warning that I might have a little cry, but I've got tissues, so it's fine. Okay, so if you know me, or if you don't, my number one core value is that we all get to be who we are as individuals, unapologetically. Caveat, unless you're an absolute dick, right? No dickheads, no arseholes, they can bugger off. But all of us awesome people, my number one value is that as individuals, we should be able to just be who we are all day, every day, in our beautiful wonderfulness. And it's taken me a while to really dig into why I feel this way. So I know that's quite specific, right? Some people would stop you there. The realization is one thing, yeah, and it resonates with my perfect fit clients. You know, we share this belief, whether you know it or not. But it goes deeper. Like, why does this matter so much to me? This is a question I had to ask myself. What got me to this being my absolute number one conviction in the frickin' world, bar none? You know, and it goes back to when I was a kid. Right. So I was just the weird kid right from the get-go, according to my parents, even when I was a baby. The idea was that everyone was just like, they were unnerved by me. My mum used to just say, she's been here before, you know, and it's like, so there was already a little bit of unnervedness around that. And skipping ahead, I did have a traumatic experience as a baby, and I do think there's more for me to look into there, but I haven't here. So skipping forward to kind of like, yeah, toddler, like maybe about 4 years old, I've got these memories of always asking, but why? But why? Like a lot of kids do, right? And I questioned absolutely everything around me. I'm total contrarian as well, curious as fuck. I was smart, but inarticulate. You know, I couldn't convey what it was that I was trying to say. And it made me confused as to why people responded to me in the way that they did. And then that then sort of built this conflicted kind of energy about the world around me. I just didn't, I've never felt a sense of belonging or even welcome, actually. And oh God, I never felt loved for who I am. I felt loved, but I felt loved in spite of my quirks and who I am, and you know, the flaws or whatever, the things that made me irritating to those around me, and what I was picking up, like their kind of strange energy towards me. And so yeah, just had this sense of not belonging. And my nan had a best friend called Adelaide, who I would say is like another nan to me. And she was the only person who encouraged me to be more myself. So like all of the other grown-ups would be saying, oh, pipe down, you know, shush Louise, pipe down. Adelaide would always say, no, let her speak. And then she'd ask me like, you know, what do you think about this, Louise? And then I'd tell her, and then she'd say, and why do you think that, Louise? And she just always, you know, encouraged me to be open and frank and honest, and then have these discussions and help me to go through the questioning. And you know, she helped me to, she validated my curiosity. You know, she was curious about my curiosity, and she just encouraged me constantly to be myself, and she loved me for that. Like I always felt whew, so loved just because she engaged with me, you know. So from about 4 years old, I used to run run away from my nan's house and run down to oh, sharp Jacqueline, so that I can. I used to run away from my nan's house. Adelaide only lived down the road, but I was escaping at 4 years old, and running down the road to Adelaide's house because I knew where I was wanted. I knew where I wanted to be. Look, I'm trying to have a moment here, guys, and you're just taking a piss out of me, you bastards. Yeah, make it tangible, Heidi. Fuck off. So, obviously, as I got older, oh God, that bit I was going to have a little cry there. As I got older, I became more articulate, and I found people became more fascinated with how odd I was more than anything. And I'd get asked my opinion a lot because I always had an alternative take on things. Hence why people thought I was weird, right? I was going against the grain. I wasn't ever going along with the herd, but I still didn't feel accepted. I felt tolerated, and I felt belittled, and I felt like shit for just being who I am. So all throughout school, I found this was a conflict. I felt like I had to search for who I was rather than accept who I am. I tried on different personalities like fucking hats, you know, and I tried to fit in with this crowd or this crowd, and go with the non-conformists because they're all conforming to non-conformity. That I'm different crowd, I'll go with them, you know. But I just did not fit in anywhere. Fast forward, working in an office. Imagine me sitting in an office. Yet again, I'm in an environment where my quirks or my, you know, weirdness or me being myself tolerated, again, tolerated. I couldn't be myself fully. I still had to be in a box. I still had to dilute myself to make myself more palatable for other people. I still had to put on a persona, switch fucking hats, switch heads, switch faces. And it never felt right for me. It doesn't make me feel, you know, it's not in alignment when you have to be 12 different fucking people, you know? And then the defining moment really came for me when I had a realization about my friends. And one of my best friends, who is, I always say, womb to the tomb, because our mums were pregnant at the same time with us and knew each other. She came around my house and she told me that she doesn't have other close friends like I do. And she was saying how upsetting it was, like how gutted she is, like how the fuck, you know, she's like, how do you have all of these amazing women in your world who you can rely on, who you can trust, who are all really fucking decent at their core? And obviously I was like, oh shit, I need to question this. You know, something not that I'd taken for granted, but that I'd neglected to really pinpoint consciously. And it absolutely fucking hit me there and then that these women are my soulmates. You know, my friendship circle, these women are my soulmates. And it's because I can be genuinely who I am around them, no holds barred. And that means that they love me because of who I am. Woo, not in spite of it, right? And I want everyone to have this feeling. I want everyone to feel that sudden wave of fuck, you know, because I just felt so in that moment. And even now talking about it, I felt like held and loved and honored and so grateful to have this like realization in these humans. And that's when I decided, fuck everyone else. You know, I'm going to be me everywhere I go, because what, as a result of that, this is what I get. This is what I receive, right? All of the time. Imagine what else is available for me if I stepped into that realm of possibility of like, fuck, if I just show up as me all the time, the right people come to you when you are you, right? And of course, now I want this for everyone because it's so liberating, it's so freeing. To just, you know, it's empowering, it's nourishing, it's nurturing, it's self-loving, it's self-accepting, it's every fucking thing that you can have. And then the more me I am, the more others are inspired to be who they are, right? And I feel like this is what I do. I help you lift the fear of stepping into yourself just by being myself. And I know I'm here to like illuminate and reframe unanswered or unquestioned, let's say, unquestioned assumptions and expectations that you have. You know, this is what I'm here for. And then I just think, imagine if there was a world of full of women and we're all being boldly ourselves and doing what we love and helping others to weave their magic. This fucking energetic shift is undeniable, and the fucking waves that we will cause, right? Oh God, this is an emotional one. So, oh fuck. So we're helping other people, you know, imagine this possibility, and this energetic shift is fucking undeniable. The waves are going to be felt. We are going to create a fucking riot. Okay, so yes, our be yourselfness is going to inspire and impact future generations. Absolutely. So this is why, whoa, sorry, I take you down that garden path, right? This is why it matters so much. This is what motivates me to work with you all, because my expertise, obviously, in the academics of copywriting, plus my natural ability to inspire people to be who they are authentically, my courage to be fucking transparent and vulnerable and learn and evolve encourages others to do the same. And that's what drives me when I create my content, right? This deep desire to create this fucking impact, the desire to magnetize amazing, authentic women into my world, and not into the arms of fucking charlatans and shysters out there who would have you believe that they've got a magic fucking pill, but all they want is your money and they do not give a flying fuck about you, right? I won't rant for too long about this, but the spaces that I found myself in, they take me back to my childhood. So I've been told, you know, I'm too much, or I'm too needy, or I'm asking for too much, or I don't know, when I'm offering support, I'm out coaching the coach. So therefore I'm an annoyance, I'm an irritation, I'm a pest because I need something deeper in these spaces where I've been sold a spot in this space. I need something deeper. I need somewhere I can expand and grow and fucking evolve. And you're telling me to you're shutting me down? Nah, right? And I don't like being overwhelmed all the fucking time by all the inauthentic content that goes out there, all of the bullshit fucking coaches who literally they will trample on other people to get to where they want to be. They will stand on your head, right, to just get on top of you to elevate themselves. I'm not about that. We hold hands and we fucking elevate together, right? And they don't care about who they hurt in the process. I'm so against this very freaking nature. And I refuse to treat people like a fucking number, take their money, and then not deliver. Because the thought of somebody leaving an experience with me with any sort of disappointment, it makes me feel sick to my core thinking that, right? It's the feeling for if somebody felt disappointed after having worked with me is like literally one of the worst things that I can possibly imagine. You know, I'm so committed to genuinely giving people this experience, no matter how many times I get fucked up the arse. I will never stop being the person who makes people feel seen and heard, because that's the fucking gift that I have to give, right? So yeah, my weirdness became a strength, and my conviction to be fully myself no matter what became my superpower. And once I got fucking clear on this, and obviously as you can see, it takes some soul searching, it just made all the difference. So I connect to that every day. When I'm writing content, I hold this energy, I hold this gratitude for just what I can fucking help people with and how far I've come. And being myself and expressing myself unapologetically is a huge part of that, knowing that this is going to uplift and elevate and expand and inspire and encourage other people to do the same. Because that gift is one that is just, it's fucking magic, right? And the reason my content lands with my fucking perfect fit clients is because I lead by example. I embody this. I imbue it into everything I do. And this is why I get to work with only people who connect and vibe and share this same intention, which is to create fucking magic for those who need it, right? Therefore, impact. So now I've got amazing paying clients. There's the income, right? Because it's a byproduct of me doing what matters to me, leading with that energy, speaking my truth, offering my expertise, and the combination of these things. I'm calling it like the science and the soul, you know, the science and the soul. That's what creates the fucking energetic potency that resonates unconsciously with your soulmate clients. So you have to ditch that buy my shit energy. You've got to truly release that. Release the push energy. And actually, this is here's an example. So one of my clients messaged me a couple of days ago to say this month she's finally relinquished that. She's ditched all of that, you know, push energy, and she's had her first 3K month this month because she just finally let go of that desperation. You know, she received because she stopped chasing, and that's the fucking magic. That is the fucking magic. So now she's got this compulsion to create through an authentic expression of herself. She's got the energetics of intention there, and she's got the ability to articulate these things in her offer, in the messaging around her offer. So she can talk about her offers in a way that just activates the fuck out of the people that need her. You know, the people, they're like, oh my God, yes, I need to work with you. So it's not a complex system, right? This is shadow work. This is simply what it is. It takes some personal shifts, some epiphanies, some belief shifts. And then what happens is it liberates you. You become liberated. And once you get to grips with this stuff and you understand the why you, in terms of what you're doing, why you do what you do, and then what elements of you are the most potent in attracting those soulmate clients, you can just start to talk freely about this stuff. You'll be compelled to want to express this stuff. You won't have to think about it logically or consciously. There's no force in it. There's no complex copywriting techniques, you know? It's simple expression of what you have to offer in its entirety. So, you know, obviously, this is where you start to stand out above and beyond anyone else. You don't have to shout louder to be above the noise. You just have to get more real, right? Because we get told to differentiate ourselves by our processes and our frameworks and our blueprint strategies, etc., in our offers or whatever. But that's not why you, is it? That's not got anything to do with why you. That's just what you do and how you do it. So absolutely, I'm not saying leave those things behind forever and abandon them. Bring them into your messaging. But that isn't the reason that people are going to fucking connect with you on that soul level. Because understanding what makes you to your perfect fit clients is something I see a lot of people struggling with. Hence why we go so deep into this in the 12-week aligned as fuck messaging shindig. Because you have to understand it, not just from an inward perspective, but you have to uncover what other people are seeing in you that perhaps you're not recognizing in yourself. Because the fucking potency is there as well. You know, that's the magic. Other people are literally screaming at you, telling you you're magic, and you're just not listening. You're not hearing it. You're not hearing what they're really saying to you, you know? So I always say the answer to this question, why you, lies in your story. What you overcame and what you now offer your clients intangibly. Thank you very much, Heidi. Intangibly. So it's really intangible, everything that I've just talked about, but it's the biggest draw. So it's not learning the how-tos of content and messaging. That's not why you are my clients, right? It's the ability, you know, it's for you to create the ability for yourself to show up, express yourself unapologetically, confidently, with self-trust and self-acceptance. That's what I'm selling. That's what I'm pitching here. You know, it's intangible. That's not an outcome. That's not, you know, that's not like a tangible result. That's not something you can grasp. You can't hold on to that and say, oh, look, this is what I've done. Here's a certificate to prove it. But this shit never fucking goes away. Once you've uncovered this stuff, it is with you. And it informs every single thing that you do. It informs how you move, you know, what you believe, and how you expand, how you elevate, how you grow, how you evolve. And in imbuing that into your messaging, that is the fucking sweet spot. And so again, I'm going to ask the questions and chuck them into the chat box. Why the fuck are you doing what you're doing? Why do you want this business to work? Why does it matter to you so much? What is the driving force behind your desire to do this specific thing as a business? What compels you? What's in it for you? Why does it matter to you so much that you help people on this journey from your own perspective? What in your life has led you to wanting to live this business? What upset you, pissed you off, traumatized you, that made you think, fuck it, I have to help others with this? And what happened for you to take action on this very thing? What was the defining moment? And what desire was triggered in you, and why? What took you there? So I'm going to copy and paste these into the WhatsApp. There we go. So you can copy and paste those cues. So once you create the conscious awareness around this stuff and you connect back to it when you're creating content, you feel the shift energetically yourself when you're creating, but it lands. The people on the receiving end feel that fucking energetic shift in you. I've got clients that have literally tweaked a tiny little bit. They just connected to their own freaking what matters. And now they're having their most successful months because they're resonating with their perfect fit clients. They're standing out from the crowd. They're differentiating themselves by actually being true to themselves. Jacqueline, it matters because I spent years in a version of my life not fully being present or living, and now I have to help others do the same because existing is not truly living. It's not even living a bit. Correct. Right? So once you bring that you create this conscious awareness around this and you connect back to it when you're creating content, you feel the shift in expressing your ability to express yourself. You feel that energetic shift, and then the people that are meant to fucking pick up what you're putting down, they will feel that shift. Anybody who's been on the fence about you is either going to go off that side of the fence and go, nah, she ain't for me, or they're going to go, fuck yeah, side of the fence. They're not indifferent anymore. They're going to make a fucking decision. You've activated them. You've really spoken to their heart and soul, right? And then what happens is you can start to self-audit, like energetically self-audit your content. And you can start to ask yourself questions like, am I creating this with intention, or am I just ticking a fucking to-do list box? Am I actually feeling a sense of hustle and desperation whilst creating this? Am I truly saying what I want to convey here, or am I just telling people what I think they want to hear? Right, Heidi, I have to do this when I have no one. I've had to have myself and trust in myself. And once I did that, I opened up the world in the most beautiful way. Exactly that. And the right people start fucking appearing as if by freaking magic. So, oh God, this has been an emotional one for me. So if you want to get into the depths, right, of your messaging energetics, your why you, and then really truly attract those soulmate clients through your messaging, please get in touch with me, DM me on Instagram, email me, whatever, because I want to have you in the 12-week shindig. Okay, we did start on Tuesday, so there's limited spots available for January. Because the next couple of days will be the last intake for January. But you lot, if anybody joins today, you will be part of the original founder members, and you're going to be helping me to shape the shindig for future shindiggers, right? Because we're going to uncover this stuff, and I'm going to fucking put all this beautiful meat and juice into what it is that we're doing. So it's definitely worth getting in early doors, and obviously you'll have access forever as well. So no big pitch from me, because that's not what I'm all about. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stop recording now, and you can ask me any questions that you may have. So stop recording. Stop.